And down here south of the border, we are very organized. Let me tell you, these young boys, 20 of them, have been waiting patiently. And first of all, I'd say, diga gracias. Uno say gracias. Gracias. Thank you for accepting us as one of the philanthropic organizations for the YAL, especially your eminence, Metropolitan Erasmus. We are truly blessed with your guidance and support through the years. Like Father Demetrius mentioned, he'll be speaking shortly about the history of Project Mexico and our ministries. And then we have some special activities for you. We're going to have a virtual tour of the chapel here by one of the boys. Brandon, where's Brandon? Okay. Well, he'll do a tour for us. Then afterwards, one of the boys will share their experience about living here. And then I'll wrap things up with a few comments about our needs and also the program here in Mexico. But with no further delay, we're going to sing to you the Troparion of Saint Innocent. Okay, listo, you ready? Ready? Listo? Uno, dos, tres. That comes from all the boys at the Saint Innocent Ranch, our home. Can we all give a virtual applause? Okay, with that, I am going to give the word over to Father Demetrius, who will give some more explanation about the organization and our ministry.
Thank you, Father Nick. So that's our chapel in Tijuana, Mexico, and we are blessed to be able to provide a home for these boys. Like I said, it's for the last 16 plus years we've been able to provide a home for the boys, and in that time period, an entire generation and over I think about 60 boys have gone through our program. We currently have we kind of average every year 3 or 4 graduate out of high school. Right now we have between 20 and 24. We actually just got 3 new boys, and we're getting several more in the coming month. One of our boys is a junior at Hellenic College, and it's been a truly transformative ministry, both for those who go and serve and for the boys that we provide a home for. Obviously, COVID has challenged us because the Mexico border was closed. There we go. The Mexico border was closed in the last since March, but a year ago we started to pivot and refocus on Saint Innocent as our patron saint. We have his relics. A bishop brought us his relics a number of years ago, and so we looked at how our Saint Innocent orphanage could be transformed into a Saint Innocent school. And that's partly one of the things we're asking today is for all of you to support us by giving to support the boys' education. Additionally, we focus on not just Mexico, but we expanded the type trips we did last year to community building projects, disaster recovery, and humanitarian assistance projects. As we expanded that, we taken on the moniker of St. Innocent Service Works after our patron St. Innocent. And what it's allowed us to do is really bring the great ministry and mission to a number of areas. Last year, because of COVID, we were only able to get one spring break group in Mexico, but we were able to have people come to help Focus Ohio build a greenhouse, to help Orthodox monastery in Colorado do some painting and staining a deck and some repair work. We led a trip to Puerto Rico and were able to help reconstruct a home that had been devastated by Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. And by expanding these trips, we've been able to offer more opportunities for people to come and participate, even with the closure of the border. So how can you get involved? One, you can support us financially and help our boys with their education in our St. Innocent School. But two, you can either bring a 1-week trip to one of our trips throughout the United States or Mexico, depending on when the border opens, or you can also even intern for us. Every summer we have 25 interns that come and work with us for 3 months. So we have our internship application at projectmexico.org or saintinnocentserviceworks.org. And if you look at internships, you can apply there. We even have a gap year program. We have a number of people taking time off school because of COVID or online learning. And so we've been able to put them, we have 3 or 4 that have been in Mexico all fall semester, and we have other opportunities in other places. So if you could help at your parish or as a y'all group or even an OCF group, organize yourself to come and serve for even a week, it would be tremendously impactful. By going and leaving where you're from and going somewhere else to do a trip, you're able to see your neighbor and see Christ in the other, so that when you return home, you can see who your neighbor in your own community is and understand better how you can help them. So we'd like to invite you to take a tour of the orphanage with Father Nick and to hear some of the stories from our boys. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hold on.
Beautiful. Now, Brandon, one of the middle boys here, is going to give a tour of the orphanage. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll do it in Spanish and I'll translate. Muy bien.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Brandon y tengo 11 años.
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon. I'm 11 years old.
Y vivo aquí en el rancho San Inocencio.
I live here at the St. Innocent Ranch.
Oramos aquí en nuestra capilla cada día.
We pray in this ranch every day.
Cuando llegué aquí hace 3 años no sabía mucho sobre Dios,
When I arrived here 3 years ago, I didn't know much about God,
pero ahora sé que Cristo nos ama.
but now I know that God loves me.
Aquí en esta capilla fui bautizado.
In this chapel, I was baptized.
Fue un gran día y el obispo estaba presente.
It was a huge day, and the bishop was present.
Recibí 2 padrinos y ellos pusieron aceite por todo mi cuerpo.
I received 2 godparents, and they put olive oil all over my body
Para que sea muy resbaloso al diablo.
so I can be really slippery to the devil.
Me gusta ser ortodoxo,
I like to be Orthodox,
pero no es fácil.
but it's not easy.
Ayudamos de carne mucho y oramos bastante.
We fast from meat a lot, and we pray plenty.
También confesamos nuestros pecados 2 o 3 veces al año.
Also, we confess our sins 2 to 3 times a year.
Tratamos de ser como los santos.
We try to be like the saints.
Tenemos reliquias de dos santos.
We have relics of 2 saints.
Esta es la reliquia de San Inocencio.
This is the relic of Saint Innocent.
Así recordamos que no estamos solos.
In this way, we know we're not alone.
Los santos nos ayudan y oran por nosotros.
The saints help us and they pray for us.
Es como el cielo está aquí, mira el domo, la cúpula.
It's like this, like heaven is here. Look at the dome, the cupola.
Puedes ver el cielo llegando a la tierra.
You can see heaven coming to the earth.
Esto es en donde canta el coro.
This is where the chanters sing.
Así sabemos cuándo debemos a cantar.
Because of them, we know when we should be singing.
Padre Nicolás nos dice que cuando cantamos a Dios nos hace más feliz.
When Father Nicholas says when we sing to God, we're happier.
Yo creo que estoy más contento cuando canto.
I believe that I'm happier when I sing.
Domingo recibimos comunión.
Every Sunday, we receive communion.
Esto es la más importante cosa que hacemos toda la semana.
This is the most important thing we do every week.
Padre Nicolás nos habla durante el servicio,
Father Nicholas talks to us during the service.
nos enseña sobre Cristo y que nos espera en el cielo.
He teaches us about Christ and how what we have to look forward to in heaven.
Él siempre nos da tarea como leer la Biblia
He always gives us homework to read the Bible
o ayudar a los pobres.
or help the poor.
Esta semana él nos dijo que debemos estar en silencio
This past week, he gave us homework that we should be in silence
cada día para 5 minutos.
every day, at least 5 minutes.
Fue difícil, pero lo hice por lo menos una vez.
It was difficult, but I did at least once.
Y esto es nuestra capilla.
And this is our chapel.
Yay! All right, Brandon. Okay, muy bien. Okay, ya está terminado. Okay, okay, beautiful. Brandon's a trooper. He practiced. He's very dedicated. And he's an excellent altar boy too. Very proud of him and all our boys. Now, what I'd like to do is share with you the perspective of the orphanage from a boy who's been here for over 10 years. And this is a young man who is named Jose de Jesus, Joseph of Jesus, or we call him JJ for short. So please.
Hola, mi nombre es José de Jesús, tengo 16 años.
Hello, my name is Jose of Jesus, and I am 16 years old.
Llegué a este país cuando tenía 8 años.
I arrived here when I was 10 years old. 8 years old? 8 years old.
Aunque fui chiquito, mi vida fue mala por cosas del pasado.
When I was small, I had a really difficult life because of all the things of my past.
Pero llegué con mis hermanos al rancho, el cual fue una de las mejores cosas de mi vida.
But I arrived here to the ranch, and it was one of the best things of my life
Porque no los había visto en 4 años.
because I had not seen my brothers in 4 years.
En el orfanato había otro director, lo cual no era el mejor.
Before, there was a director of the orphanage, and he wasn't really the best.
Hasta que un día lo despidieron y por fin Padre Nicolás y Madi entraron al manejo del orfanato.
And then one day he left, and then Father Nicholas and Maddie, they started running things here at the orphanage.
Nuestras vidas cambiaron para siempre.
Our lives changed forever.
Nos daban todo lo que necesitamos,
They gave us everything we need.
tuvimos mejores oportunidades de escuela,
We had so many better opportunities for school.
el orfanato cambió demasiado.
The orphanage changed so much.
En mi estancia en el orfanato nunca fui el joven que soy ahora,
During this time in the orphanage, I'm not the same boy who I was before.
porque cuando era pequeño mi pasado me afectó,
Because when I was small, my past really affected me.
el cual tenía mucho enojo y no podía controlarme.
I was really angry, couldn't control myself.
Pero todo lleva un proceso,
But everything, there is a process.
así que me mandaron a un psiquiatra
They sent me to a psychiatrist
y luego a un psicólogo,
and also to a psychologist,
lo cual ayudó demasiado.
which helped a lot.
Pero con ayuda de Padre, Madi, Guillermo y Eugenio pude mejorar.
But with the help of Father and Maddie and Guillermo and Eugenio, I could really change.
A veces yo estaba a punto de irme de estos orfanatos,
Sometimes I feel like I should just leave the orphanage.
pero por mi mente pasó, ¿en serio quieres dejar todo por un berrinche?
But then I start thinking, I want to leave all this just because I had a temper tantrum.
Temper.
Temper tantrum, thanks.
Con el tiempo fui mejorando, pero cuando estaba en homeschool me portaba muy mal porque no me gustaba.
And with time, I was getting better, but then there was homeschool. I didn't like it, so I got worse.
Y con base a mi comportamiento me pusieron en una escuela simple.
Because of my bad conduct, they put me into a public school, kind of something like a public school.
Pero me dije a mí mismo, tengo que mejorar
But I said to myself, I need to improve.
y hacer todo mi esfuerzo
I need to do all I have to put my best effort in
para mostrar que no soy el que decían que era en homeschool.
to show everyone that I'm not that boy who was there like at when I was homeschooled.
Con el paso del tiempo saqué buenas calificaciones
With time, I got some great grades.
y no reprobé ni una materia.
I didn't fail one class.
Y en ese momento
In this moment,
demostré que estaban equivocados de mí.
I demonstrated that they were wrong about me.
En el orfanato, para vivir aquí,
To live here at the orphanage,
tienes que tener buenas calificaciones y tener buen comportamiento.
you need to have good grades and also you have to behave.
La verdad, padre Nicolás tiene la oportunidad de conseguir dinero para el orfanato.
It's true that father goes out and raises money.
No importa qué tan lejos esté, él siempre piensa en nosotros primero.
That doesn't really matter how far he's away. He's always thinking of the boys.
El orfanato les da a todos los muchachos para que estén bien.
Yeah, so the orphanage is running well, thank God.
Pero algunos jóvenes no aprecian lo que hace la casa hogar por ellos.
But sometimes some boys just don't really appreciate what they have.
Y ellos terminan saliendo antes de tiempo.
And so they end up leave before they really should.
Cuando sales de la casa hogar,
When they leave from the orphanage,
te das cuenta que la vida afuera
they realize that life outside the orphanage,
es más diferente.
it's a little tough, it's different.
Pero si necesitas algo,
But if you need something,
la casa hogar
the orphanage,
estará para nosotros,
it's here for them, it's here for
aunque
you,
no vivimos en la casa hogar.
even though you might not live here.
La casa hogar quiere jóvenes de bien.
The orphanage tries to raise young, good boys.
Quieren que sean algo en la vida,
They want them to do something with their life.
que tengan esposa, hijos,
That they get married, they have children,
y le enseñen todo lo que nos enseñaron en la casa hogar.
and they want to, so that those boys who leave can teach their own children what they learned here at the orphanage.
Y que nunca les hagan lo que les hicieron cuando yo era pequeño.
So that they won't do what was done to them when those boys were small.
Y cada quien decide su futuro.
Everyone decides their own future.
Gracias por su atención. Y esta es mi perspectiva de la vida del rancho de nosotros.
Thank you for your time, and this is the perspective of the life of the St. Innocent Orphanage. Woo! All right, good job, James. Okay. So I really appreciate both the boys coming and presenting. They are an inspiration of change and how we all can change through Christ Church. Like I mentioned, here at the orphanage, we are a ministry within Orthodoxy. We're the only Orthodox orphanage in North America. With this in mind, our goal is to raise. One of the main priorities is to give them a good education. So we do this. They arrive here, though, you got to remember, they arrive kind of behind the 8 ball because they're from the streets. They were abused, well, just being abandoned by your own mom and dad are abusive enough, but possibly they were abused by their own parents. They usually are at other orphanages that are overpopulated, or the state organizations where they maybe go to 1 hour of school a day if they're lucky. So you come to us, and literally, this is what I've said this many times, literally in tears, just give us an education. What kind of 10-year-old is crying to go to school, okay? But these boys are. This is what we do. We do. And I can't say like, okay, they're great students always. It really, really is inspirational. The interns and the volunteers who come down here to make a difference and volunteer and tutor the boys. We have many American interns who come here, tutor the boys, and help them grow. We have a Mexican staff that does this also. So they can plan for the future, so they can think about what is to come. With this in mind, educating them to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be welders, to be teachers is a priority. But most important, to be faithful Orthodox Christians, faithful believers in God. And that's what's going to make them survive through the craziness, through their past, which the past is kind of tough to say the least, through their past. We were just around the campfire the other night with some of the older boys, and I was talking to them about my own experiences, and I challenged them. Let's talk about the tough times. Let's talk about where we felt like we had nowhere to turn. And let us realize in those times that God is here present. And because of our faith, we're able to work through it. And it was beautiful that night at the campfire. As we sat around, they talked about the stories. My story, you know, like, I've had an interesting life, but the difficulties that I've gone through and still live in hope is inspirational. And we teach them, we encourage them. It's because God's in your life. You can make it through that and many, many more things. This is the education we're giving them. This is how we're challenging them to go to confession, to be an altar boy, to be good in school. And you can be a part of that too. You can be a part of that too. I am truly grateful for His Eminence, Metropolitan Erasmus, for supporting us for the years and allowing us to be one of the ministries here for the Diakonia project for the YL conference of the metropolis of San Francisco. Also truly grateful for the national leadership of Archbishop Elpidio Foros and leading the church so that as a metropolis, as an archdiocese, we can be a beacon for little boys. Yeah, we have 24 boys here under our care. 4 of them are older and one's at Hellenic College. He's going to be a senior, well, he's halfway through his junior year. He's doing excellent. And then we have some younger boys, high school, junior high, grammar school. This is where we need your help, actually. To educate each boy for the tuition, for clothing, uniforms, also for books, for tutoring to make sure they're up to speed. It costs $2,625 for each boy. We have 12 boys, and the smallest ones have been sponsored. It'd be excellent if we get those sponsored here at this YAL conference. Give now. I actually challenge you, put it on your the chat. Raise your hand, your virtual hand. I'm ready to give and help these boys. I'll give. Inspire others. As Demetrius does, I have fundraisers. In Lake Gates fundraisers, you ask him for money, but this is not just money, this is a concrete way. When you can't come down here and help them out, you give from your resources so these boys can have a future. And if you want to do it anonymously, which I very highly respect too, just go to projectmexico.org and you're able to give right there through donation. And we know, like, there's no spot to say, okay, this is for education. If any donations are given within the 2 days, we'll know it's for their education. And we really appreciate that. With that in mind, again, I'd like to give gratitude for all the organizers of this conference and organized for His Eminence, Metropolitan Erasmus, and specifically, most importantly, to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who guides all of us to reach out and help the small little ones in the world. And that's about it for our presentation here, south of the border. Are there any, I think it's time for questions. So I'm not too sure how we're doing on time. Are there any questions, or is there time for questions, or how do we do this?
If you have any questions at all, just send a direct message to Project Mexico Father Nicholas in the chat, and we'll be able to take some.
All right.
Let's see. So we're waiting on some questions. Ooh, this one comes from California and asks, where in Mexico is the orphanage located?
Great question. We're about 25 minutes south of the border.
So if you're in San Diego, it's in Tijuana, if you know where Tijuana is. But to give you a little more detail, San Diego, travel about 25, 30 minutes to the border. You go through the border, 25 minutes from there, we're on the hills overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful view, by the way. And right on the outskirts of Tijuana, Mexico. So that's where we're located. And so to get back and forth, we travel back and forth quite frequently. And it takes probably, getting back takes a little longer, probably like an hour or so, but coming over it takes very quickly. So that's where it's located, Tijuana, Mexico. Tijuana, Mexico. That's where I live. I live in Tijuana. And that's my son, who's holding the camera so nicely.
Hello.
Okay. Who was raised here. He was raised here. He arrived when he was 10 years old. And he's not 10 anymore because I've been here almost 10 years. So you can do the math. Yeah.
Okay, and we'll have one more question.
Great.
What do volunteers that come down there help you with?
Excellent question. Well, we have several different programs here. One of the main, and we've had over 16,000 faithful Orthodox Christians come over in the past over 30 years, volunteer and build homes. And so most Christians come down, Orthodox Christians, and people from other denominations, not that many, but they come down and build homes for the homeless and the needy here in the Tijuana area. Now that's the bulk of the volunteers, but then we have other people who've been down several years. And Anna, can you come on over real quick? Okay, she has been down many, many times. Okay, and she's came to volunteer as a home building. Well, originally just to build homes. Now you're the home building coordinator for the next year. Okay, and so she's come down to volunteer, and also living here, you've actually helped with the boys and being a counselor. Okay, so that's what you do. Beautiful. Thank you, Anna. Excellent. So you can volunteer with the boys, you help construction, and that's about it. And lots of other things. If you know Spanish, you can help teach catechism too. Or if you like pigs, we'll show you how to raise pigs.
Awesome. If you have any more questions, feel free to shoot us an email. You can find our social media at St. Vincent Orphanage and Project Mexico on Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and God bless.